PokeRamble Podcast.
Episode 43 of the PokeRamble Podcast, and we've run out of titles to make. So, on this week's episode, we're talking about Pokemon Snap, we're talking about all the big news in Pokemon Go, and some stuff that's happening in Masters. Yes, welcome to episode 43 of the PokeRamble Podcast. I'm the lazy host, Kumail, and joining me this week is the Battle Frontier brain himself, who's actually hosting this episode. It's Amit. How's it going?
I put significant time into thinking of that title. I'm ashamed to say it took me more than 5 seconds to come up with that.
It's brilliant. It's actually brilliant. I'm a huge fan of yours.
So, welcome to episode Oddish, or I think to give it its full name, episode Odium Wondrous, which is the scientific name for Oddish.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so confirmed in the Pokedex entry for Oddish in Fire Red, Oddish's scientific name is Odium Wondrous, a reference to the fact that it can walk nearly 1,000 feet every night.
I was convinced that was like a Harry Potter spell or something.
Oh,
Odium Wondrous.
That's a real... That probably makes, like, strangers walk around, right? That's what that is. No, so what's really interesting about Oddish is that all of the references to its feet actually refer to roots, so they don't talk about it as having feet.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they have roots. But one of my favourite glitches... Well, it's not really a glitch, it's a mistranslation with Oddish. In Generation 2, Bill's grandfather asks you to bring him the round green Pokemon with leaves growing out of its head. But in both those games and in subsequent games, Oddish's body is blue.
Oh, damn.
And this may have been a translation error due to the ambiguity of the Japanese word oi. Am I pronouncing that right?
I have no
AOI, which can mean both blue and green. And this is fixed in Heart Gold.
Okay, yeah. Aoi. But when you say Aoi, that does mean blue. So, but then again, yeah, I'm not a Japanese native, so maybe. But every time you hear the word Aoi, is usually referring to blue,
which is why it probably is a mistranslation in the English release.
I've never heard of it being like referenced to green in my life. But hey, as I said, not a Japanese speaker. There we are. Oi. So what's up on the menu today? What we talking about?
We've got actually quite a lot to go through. The most interesting of which is Pokemon Snap, which released just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So some fresh, off-the-cuff reaction, spoiler-free. We should say for those listening, we'll keep it all spoiler-free this week for Pokemon Snap. And then we've got lots of exciting Pokemon Go news, Pokemon Masters news, all the good stuff. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it. Is there a snappy title for this segment of the show?
That's what you're going with.
Knock, knock, knock. No, I was asking you. I was like,
okay.
No, this is from your side. This is knock, knock, knock. I was like, wow, he's telegraphed this for in advance.
This is Snap.
Okay,
the
great.
Pokemon Snap segment of the show.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing we kind of wanted to do was just talk about how we found the game. First couple of days it's been out. We've not played it. Neither of us have played it a huge amount. But you said you've done like the opening couple of levels.
Yeah, I've done like 3 levels so far. And I think the first thing I want to point out is the fact that I just like how stylish the UI is. You know, it's very clean looking, but at the same time it's clean, but it's very attractive. You know, so I'm really in love with the UI of Pokemon Snap. Just to begin with, I think it looks very clean. I think the general graphical fidelity looks great. So I wanted to point that out. I mean, everything we saw in the trailers looks like it's been translated into the main game in terms of graphics, which is really nice to see. And yeah, no, I've been generally surprised about how impressed I've been, because it's no secret on like previous podcasts I haven't been too hot on Pokemon Snap, but seeing what we've gotten, I'm quite happy with it.
One of my opening reactions to the game was actually just how differently Pokemon were moving. And I know that a lot of the routes are pre-programmed. Pokemon walk down the same paths. That as you get further into the game, you unlock these items, and we've seen in the trailers, you can cause Pokemon to interact in different ways, or maybe, stop in their tracks and interact with something you throw them. And it's really interesting to see Pokemon genuinely seamlessly, and I know that sounds like a strange word to say, but seamlessly move from what is clearly a pre-programmed walk or a flight or whatever it might be to doing something completely different.
Their general behavior changes depending on what you sort of make them interact with.
And I know this is very specific, but there's no jankiness. So you don't see a Pokemon sort of walking, freeze, and then just immediately do another reaction. Like there's an actual slowing down to their movement, and very naturally they start walking up to your thing.
It's not like in the main games where your rival's walking and then that has to stop and then turn around and keep walking.
That was the analogy I was going to make. Is Zacian and Zamazenta after that battle with Eternatus, like the great finale of Sword and Shield, and then they just do a 180, which is probably the most poorly animated thing in the game, and just wander off into the sunset. And it's such a nice contrast to be able to say that the game is all about imagery and the photography and, you know, the wildlife. Really holds up so far. It's really holding up well.
I think one thing I really admire is the day and night cycle that they've added to new Pokemon Snap, and how, you know, there's some Pokemon that will act differently at nighttime than they do in the daytime. And I want to make an example, but again, I'd rather leave the surprise for people who haven't had the chance to pick up the game, so I won't say what it is. But you know, there's one Pokemon you see like that. Yeah, sorry, I can't actually talk about it, but it acts differently. So,
well, I think without spoiling anything, what is very interesting is that there are Pokemon that appear in the day that then appear in the night as well. But there is continuity to their story or their interaction with the environment. Like, it's not just this Pokemon was here in the day, this different Pokemon's here in the night. There's a reason for them being there that you get to start to unpick,
which is really cool. I think the in terms of let's talk about the sort of incentive for you to keep playing / replaying, is that they've added these kind of like titles / medals for you to get. So if you do a certain thing, let's say for example, a very basic one you'll get is like, if you do an expedition at night, you'll get a title for doing it at night. That's really cool. So there's like all these different titles for you to collect, and also there's this star system, which, you know, they've shown off before, but they have different gradings. So you got 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, but also to that they've got like bronze, silver, gold. So that you always want to try to get like
there's actually a rating above gold.
Oh really?
That you can get. Yeah. So there's a platinum, and I am almost certain I'll be looking to get all 4 stars platinumed. And what's really interesting, again, this is not spoilers, is that the star rating relates to the environment or the animation that's going on when you're trying to photograph the Pokemon.
That makes sense.
In a really interesting moment, like maybe when it's using a move or when it's doing something exciting, that gets you your 4th star or your 3rd or 4th star. And then the quality of the shot is what gives you the grading. So there are 2 dimensions. So you're very much looking for that opportune moment, but then you've still got to frame the shot well and get it all spot on. It's not just as simple as finding that opportune moment.
Which carries on from original Pokemon Snap. I think like there was a Rapidash in the lava level in the original Pokemon Snap, and then when it's neighing, if you catch it neighing, you get like a higher rating because of the pose. So it's nice that they've brought that over as well. I'll tell you what's a nightmare though. Trying to play this in handheld with Joy-Con drift. Oof, you do. Oh, yeah.
I think you can turn off motion controls.
No, Joy-Con drift. So like basically Joy-Con drift.
Oh, Joy-Con drift. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
So that's not too fun. So yeah, I've got like a little stand that I'll keep my Switch on and use my Pro controller. I mean, I can.
Can't you send those in for free and get new Joy-Cons at this point?
You probably could. But I don't know if they'll send me back the red ones, which is my main bugbear. Yeah, because I've got the special Mario ones, but I'll look into it. But I have fixed it a couple of times, and it may be just a case of me having to clean it again and try fixing it that way. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I looked at the option settings as well. There's a way of you speeding up the retina and like sort of camera speed and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But generally, I'm very impressed with the game. I'm looking forward to, you know, diving into more environments, taking photos of more Pokemon, and complete my photo decks.
The one thing that I was nervous about with Pokemon Snap was the strength of the story.
Oh,
and don't get me wrong, like the core gameplay mechanics got to be fun. If that's not fun, it's not worth doing.
Yeah,
taking photographs is so much fun, but I have to say, and again, completely spoiler free, there's a real story and it's a very good story so far. I'm barely into it, but I had forgotten almost that there was going to be a story component to this game. And I'm really pleased that there is, because I think that's going to give me the drive to play it probably at a quicker pace, whereas it might otherwise be a very casual game. The payoff of the story, I think, is the thing that's going to keep me playing it, certainly for the next couple of weeks, quite avidly.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I shouldn't have been, but like you said, like we knew about this, but like coming back from a expedition and being greeted by the professor and his assistant, and then talking to them, and then be like, "Oh, you need to do this now." I'm like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," as opposed to the original Pokemon Snap where you're just talking to the professor, and the professor's like, "Okay, here's the next place you got to go to." Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, there's some genuine story wrapped around just the general exploration, which is really nice.
Have you done any of the online stuff at all, or?
I haven't posted a picture online yet. So another thing that's really nice about this game is it breaks you in very gently. It doesn't just go, here's everything you can do, go and play with it. Every sort of couple of runs, you unlock something new. And it just means that you're not overwhelmed on that first couple of runs with fluff fruit and all the other, gimmicks that are in the game. And so I'm not actually at the stage yet where I've got everything unlocked. So I'm probably going to get to that point before I even start trying to post stuff online. You can unlock like cool frames and stuff. Again, this is all not spoilers because it's in the pre-release materials, but it'll be exciting when I finally get to that point.
You reminded me as well, like each sort of area has got like levels to them, which is really, really surprising. And that's another thing that will keep me going in terms of, look, this area is level 1, I want to get it to level 2, how do I get to level 2? And it's generally snapping pictures of Pokemon and getting like a X amount of points to level up the area.
Yeah, it's I guess it's the grindy element of the game. I'm not sure how grindy it will be, but basically when you level up your routes, you unlock it's the same route, but everything is slightly different. Think of it as a bit like Spot the Difference, but normally the differences are the really exciting things that you want to be photographing and taking pictures of, which is, I think, a really cool twist on replaying the same areas. So it's never, although you might do the same level every time and you get exactly the same run, which you need in order to get the right shots, as you play on different levels, and you can pick and choose the levels you want to play on, you can do the same route but get a vastly different experience.
Can you go back to a level 1 route to a level 2 route?
Yes, you can pick. Okay, you can pick whether you want and you need to, because there are some things in level 1 that don't exist in level 2 and vice versa.
Can I
think of it?
Ask, is it a case of is there a certain button you need to press, or?
No, the game is really straightforward. The game is literally like, when you click on the location, it's like, do you want option 1 or option 2?
Okay, awesome.
Super straightforward.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. That's cool.
The UI is super clean, I have to say, and that's like one of the nicest things about the game is it's really, really nicely done. I must say,
it's easy to look at, which is nice.
There is a lot of other news to get to, so I'm going to move on from Snap in a minute. But is there any moment? Again, you'll probably have to keep it relatively spoiler free, but is there any moment you want to be like, this was so cool?
Okay, if you haven't played Pokemon Snap yet, I want you to fast forward 15 seconds from now. In 3, in 2, 1. It was a Score Bunny sleeping on top of sleeping on top of a Torterra.
That's what got you. Yeah, I get it.
That was amazing.
That was a good moment. And I think for me, this is not a spoiler, you can listen to this. I took a photo of a Pokemon mid-flight flying towards me, and it was just a reflex shot. It was literally like quick scoping. And I was like, this is an amazing shot. And then the game goes 1 star, and I'm like,
how dare you? Yeah.
I tried so hard.
Yeah, I got one of those where Rita was like, oh, that's an amazing shot. And I'm like, oh my God, 4-star confirmed. And then there's like 1 star.
The thing that's really difficult about Pokemon Snap so far is that all of the routes are there's a lot happening at any one time, and you can't look everywhere at once. And it's really hard to remember. You could replay this route as many times as you want. So you could do an entire run through just looking forward, then just looking left, then just looking right. But you get distracted so quickly that you're jumping from left to right to behind you, like there's something, trying to run behind you or in front of you. It's a very surprisingly fast-paced game. And the routes themselves are maybe 2 minutes, maybe even 1.5 minutes from start to finish. But there's so much happening all the way through. I
Mm.
love it. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Awesome. With that, we shall
Let's move on.
Okay, what's the title of this segment?
So you want to be a Pokemon Masters?
We'll work on that. But yeah, Pokemon Masters, what's happening?
So we have a couple things. The first is the introduction of Raihan to the game, who I have to say has had a very interesting introduction where there's really been a lot of talk about his rivalry with Leon. He's also ridiculously tall, apparently. He's like 2 foot taller than every other character in the game. Don't ask me why. But he comes paired with...
Because he had milk, a lot of milk when he was a kid.
So.
Yeah,
it's true. He comes paired with Duraludon, and you can see a couple of selfies on screen. Raihan is famous for taking selfies with his Rotom phone, and he brings that fun to Passio. And in the story that goes alongside his new event, there's lots of kind of interactions between him and some of the other characters in the game. And obviously Leon makes an appearance because he has to. It's a very fun story, and we have what has to be probably the least anticipated event, which is a repeat of the time trial event that was so unpopular the first time round. This is what Raihan has come back to. He's a time trial event.
Is it me, or have they improved it though, in the sense that it's just quite simple? I don't think anyone can miss out on all the rewards if they play every day. Is that correct? Or
so there's 2 things they've done really well. The first is that they've broken the missions for the event into 2 groups: a base set of 8 missions, and then 3 additional missions that are releasing every 2 days. The base set of 8 missions are all you need to unlock the main unlock rewards and the bonus for clearing all the missions for the event. There are then 3 additional missions which don't count towards your bonus for completing all missions, which do have gems attached to them. Some of them are definitely doable. Without Raihan, 1 or 2 of them probably won't be doable without either Raihan explicitly or a 6-star EX of a very specific sync pair.
I've seen someone do it without a 6-star EX.
No, so I was going to say, the one that's come out so far has been 3 steel types, which is definitely doable.
Yeah.
The next one, I think, is going to be the real challenge, which is 3 gym leaders.
Yeah.
And then the final one is 2 Galar sync pairs.
2 Galar sync pairs is
which
dodgy.
Is
so
if
dodgy.
If you didn't pull for Leon, if you didn't pull for Marnie, if you haven't now pulled for Gloria, I guess, then
Piers,
you may need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forget Piers is in the spotlight now. That's true. So I guess there is 1 spotlight pair you can bank on, but it's a little bit pay to play, which is never something Pokemon Masters has been popular for doing.
They haven't made it. Yeah, they should always. I think they should always include a trainer for free from each region, right? That would make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I feel like if the additional 3 missions were for very minor or cosmetic type things, I think it's very bearable. I think the fact that they are missions for gems is probably why people are a bit annoyed.
Understandably so as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time since there's been a mission in Pokemon Masters that a free-to-play player physically could not complete, and this is probably one of the first.
Well, when we say free-to-play player, I mean most players probably would have gotten, maybe a Leon, maybe appears through scouting and stuff like that. But
my logic with a free-to-play player is that it shouldn't necessarily require them to have any one specific sync pair.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say, with maybe the Galar theme skill, it's probably reasonable that you should have at this point maybe 1 out of the 5. But to have 2 out of 5, I think, is pushing it a little bit. That
definitely
means you would have had to go for one of those pairs, and particularly because Piers is the only non-Pokefair one. But hey, we are kind of where we are. And I'm sure that people will be giving their feedback. I'm sure that people will learn from, or DNA will learn from the experience. But why don't we get into the sync pair of Raihan and Duraludon?
Oh man, do you know how happy I was to see that he came into the game?
You really like Raihan, huh?
Yeah. Just quickly before we go into it, I just want to say these stats over here for max potential are not correct. I don't know where these stats have come from, but these are not correct. But it's similar, very similar. Point is,
I wonder if that's the 135 max potential.
It wouldn't be. Let me get my game and tell you, because I've got him at 135 now.
Oh, there you go. You can figure that out.
Yeah.
So while I talk through this, Duraludon comes with the signature steel move from Generation 8, which is Steel Beam. A very, very high power move, so 199 base power, which is, I think, other than Behemoth Blade, the highest damaging move in the game. Accuracy of 95%, which is patched through the grid. And the description, the user takes damage equal to half of its maximum HP, even if the attack fails, which is thankfully mitigated by Standfast 9 as a passive, which reduces the recoil by 90%. And because the recoil is based on Duraludon's HP, no matter how much damage you're doing to the enemy, unlike moves like Flare Blitz or Wild Charge, you really do take very little damage. And there is further ways that's patched through the trainer move, Top This, which, as well as sharply raising Duraludon's critical hit rate, applies super effective up to the next move, applies free move to the next move, also gives Duraludon gradual healing to patch up the damage from Steel Beam.
So basically, it does like 40 damage at max sort of HP, and your gradual healing actually heals you more than that. It heals you for about 60, which is amazing. So it's really nothing. So you're getting this basically like a sync move, like for like very little drawback.
There are sync moves that have lower base power than that.
His stats at 135 max potential is 879 HP, 420 attack, 174 defense, 430 special attack, 148 special defense, and 212 speed.
Max potential.
Yeah.
I don't know where those numbers have come from then.
Yeah, I think there might be from like a data mine, but like I had like significantly high cap or something like that. Who knows?
Fair enough. Either way, it's what's really interesting if you want to scroll down to the passives for Duraludon. What's really interesting is its first passive, which is its second passage, Ferocious Entry 4, which sharply raises its attack and special attack the moment it enters battle. And through its grid, you can actually make that radically raises, so +6 when it enters the battle, and max its attack and special attack immediately. And Top This is obviously giving you +2 crit as well. You're basically good to go from turn 2. Unlike other sync pairs, you can take sometimes 9 moves to get fully powered up. It's a very, very quick pair, and obviously very well designed around a time trial event. I wonder why. Head Start 1.
It makes up its speed. Makes up for its speed, because its speed is not the best in the game. So it being, just ready out of the box to fire off a move is pretty good.
And I think for those people who've been questioning whether this sync pair is better or worse than Steven, I think what's fair to say is that on a very short battle, and even Champion Stadium may fall into this category, Duraludon's speed out the box far outpaces Metagross, who really does prefer to Mega Evolve to deal the top levels of damage, and then also through its sync with Haymaker. So probably if you're looking for a steel type pair and you don't have Steven, if you want something that's really quick and pacey and can just deal with the battle very quickly, this is not a bad sync pair and not a bad one to pull for. But we know Steven will be coming around at some point soon. If it's like it was in the past, probably with another very good sync pair in the banner with it, and you're well worth saving your gems for Steven and hopefully another good sync pair, because Steven is just so kind of all-round strong.
Well,
particularly in longer battles.
I think the thing with Rayhan, I don't want to sell him short, but the thing is, look at his moveset as well. He's got such good coverage, and having all those things in his passives and his grid as well, which we'll come on to. I think he's a pair worth pulling for. I will say we've only got physical still types apart from the egg one, which is Magneton, I think.
Yep, it is.
Rayhan's the only special attacking steel pair. So in stages where special's better than physical, you probably want to bring Rayhan instead as well, which is another thing you need to consider.
It's also, the other thing is, it's probably not a coincidence that, like Leon, Duraludon's got 3 different move types, and with confirmation that Dynamax is coming in the future, Max Steel Spike, Max Wormwind, and Max Rockfall suddenly sound a lot more appetizing than just the single Steel Beam move.
I do want to give a shout out to Rockslide because I've used it in a few battles as well, and the flinching potential it has on various pairs. It was very RNG based, but it's really nice whilst hitting like a truck. There's a ferocious
the moderate flinch chance is pretty high, and couple that with the fact it's AoE. Honestly, if they gave Signasuit Brock a grid with aggravation 1, I think it would be immediately a significantly stronger pair. Because Rockslide on Tyranitar is so helpful for AoE flinching.
Yeah, I've got both Steven and Rayhan, which I'm really thankful for, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. So. I got really lucky this time. I got so lucky this time. I managed to get it. You know, they gave me the 3,000 free.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it in that, and I was just like, oh wow.
You did. You were very proud of yourself.
Oh, do you know how many times I've had to go? You saw it with Leon. Oh, that was tragic. That was tragic.
The number of times you've had to go to pity is crazy to me.
Yeah. So yeah, Rayhan, very good sync pair. I'd say worth pulling for if you don't have a decent steel type at this moment. As I said. He's always going to be useful because, well, look at his loadout, especially look super effective up as well. I mean,
I think the only thing you may otherwise want to save your gems for, if you don't have a steel type and you were thinking about maybe saving your gems, is if Steven does come back with other strong Pokepair pairs.
I guess the other thing with Rayon is like he will come back and he will come back with other people in his spotlight, let's say. Or his Pokefair banner.
We'll talk about the grid very quickly. So lots of power-ups for Steel Beam, accuracy +5, which patches the accuracy of Steel Beam. Move gauge refresh, nothing surprising there. Double move gauge refresh on Dragon Pulse, which is quite nice. Top this MP refresh, nothing surprising there. And then 2 clusters of sync nodes that are very interesting. The first is all around getting Duraludon to maximum potential immediately. So things like Burst In, which guarantees a critical hit on the next move when it starts the battle. Pinpoint Entry, which raises accuracy the moment it enters the battle. Entry Freebie, which applies the free next move condition to the first move of the battle. Supreme Entry, which applies super effective up on the first move of the battle. Grand Entry 2, which raises special attack by 2 stages. And all of those really geared around making Duraludon as powerful and as strong as it can be on the first turn. Maybe even not needing a buff. The other cluster is the far more interesting one from a future perspective. It all revolves around Sandstorm, and bearing in mind that Duraludon has Rockslide, we don't know, get access to Max Rockfall if Dynamax is a thing that it can do. Then you've got lots of interesting sand things. So Sand Shelter, Surging Sand 3, Sand Blaster 5, lots of things theming around the Sandstorm gimmick. And hopefully that means this is basically a sign that we will get Dynamax or even Gmax Duraludon in the future.
I really liked how they included Sandstorm in there, alluding to his... I spoke to you about it, but like... Remember his gym battle in Gen 8 and how it was all around weather, and his team was set up for stand. I thought it was a really nice touch. Them giving him a sand grid as well.
It was cool.
We've got Hapu for that at the moment, which is pretty cool. And I probably need to test it at some point, having Hapu in there and seeing just how much difference that makes. I don't have him at 3 out of 5. I was more than happy to get him at 1 out of 5. So.
Do you mean Acerola?
Sorry, was it Acerola?
Acerola's got Sandstorm.
Oh, okay. So it was Ace Roller, sorry.
That's all right. I know, I was just confused by...
Oh, yeah, of course, sorry. Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting is that in the previous event, Hapu's Mudsdale, the enemy one, had Sand Kick or Dust Kicker. So it would kick up a Sandstorm, and I was like, give that to Hapu, make it usable.
Yeah, especially considering the typing of it as well. Like, It would make more sense.
Speaking of typing, the interesting trivia tidbit for Raihan is that Duraludon being a Steel-type sync pair means that Raihan is the first gym leader to get a Pokemon not corresponding to his gym type.
Wait, what?
So the sync move of every gym leader has been the same typing as their gym. Raihan's gym is technically the Dragon Gym. The Rising Badge is a Dragon Badge, and his Sync pair is a Steel type.
Damn. There's facts for you. But I guess he's a bit more ambiguous with his gym rather than most.
And to be fair, not all of his Pokemon are Dragon type.
No.
He carries a Gigalith and a bunch of other cool things. So it's
What's
very
the name
fair
of
to
the
say.
snake one? I keep forgetting its name.
Silicobra.
Silicobra, yeah, that one. He, like that as well. He uses
Sandaconda when it evolves.
Sandaconda, yeah, Sandaconda.
Yeah, so it's I think fair to say that he is a bit of a.
Is that the unknown fact of the week?
That is not. I've got a good one this week as well. That is not unknown fact of the week. But that is Raihan and Duraludon. Now, if you were in the mood for strong dragon types, boy, do we have news for you! Coming soon to Pokemon Masters, actually just 48 hours away, is a brand new legendary event called Father and Foe, all centered around N and his alleged father, Getsis.
Getsis.
It's super exciting. What really interests me in the image that we've got up on screen is it looks like Mewtwo and therefore Giovanni are actually in this image in the center of that triangle, which could mean that we're about to see a story event with multiple bad guys teaming up again.
Well, hang on a minute. Why would it be interesting that Giovanni's in this? About something called Father or Foe?
Well, I guess because it's true. Silver and Giovanni are both in the game. That's a very astute point. But my theory was going to be that because he's obviously Rainbow Rocket Giovanni, in theory, these two have worked together before.
We'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
We will see. But super interesting, obviously playing on the fact that in Pokemon White, when N was young and he was orphaned, he was found by Getsis, who claimed to be his father. And it was never really confirmed whether that was true or not. Maybe we'll get some loose ends tied up in this story. Who knows? I'm super excited. And we will be having a legendary event themed around this with the legendary Pokemon Kyurem.
Kyurem is one of my favorites. I really like him. Cool
Pokemon. The only thing I'm hoping is that Kyurem is an ice type and not a dragon type, because we have so many great dragon types in the game. We have 0 free-to-play strong ice types. I mean, Price is good, but there's a lot of gimmicks around freezing, and the odds for freezing are really low.
Hey, what about super duper effective?
Don't start. And obviously Alolan, Soundslash and Summer Steven, but with Steven being a seasonal banner with the 7% rate, I know a lot of people didn't necessarily pull for him or get him successfully. Hopefully he'll make a return again in a few months anyway, but it would be lovely to have a really strong ice type to play with.
Cool. We'll move on.
We will move on.
Seriously though, why doesn't Hapu have Sandstorm? Why don't more egg ones have Sandstorm, you know? I think we've got one, haven't we? Kabuto.
We've got one. We've got, Kabuto.
We need more. But anyway, this is not the section about me complaining about things.
What is Pokemon going on?
There we go.
There is so much Pokemon going on, as it turns out. And let's start with the Luminous Legends X event.
Air some grievances?
Yeah.
So we just had a Pokemon event where it's related to Pokemon Snap, like more Pokemon that appear in Pokemon Snap appear in the overworld in Pokemon Go. You had this chance of like taking a picture of a Pokemon and seeing a Smeargle, and you could get up to 15 Smeargle a day with a chance of it being shiny for the first time ever. Yeah, of course your boy went for like 130 snaps and didn't get a Smeargle.
Wait, you didn't even get one?
No shiny Smeargle, sorry, I should say.
Oh, no shiny, okay.
Yeah. And my friend did 240 because he's got a few accounts, and yeah, no luck for him either.
Deary me.
QQ, and that was being removed from the game, I think, so.
Yeah, I mean, the Niantic were very kind of careful with their words to say, it may return in the future. Wink.
Sad face.
We will see. The Luminous Legends X event. Hey, let's bring some light to this. So, Xerneas is joining the game. Obviously, we have the Kalos Pokemon at large now, and this event is all themed around Xerneas and fairy types.
I think Xerneas is our first Gen 6 legendary to appear in the game.
There you go. So, as well as Xerneas joining the game from the from the 4th of May, you will have a chance to catch lots of new fairy types, including, I'm forgetting the names, including Swirlix and Spritzee.
Yeah, I did that last week with the evolutions, if you remember.
Yeah, you can remember Aromatisse. So Aromatisse and Slurpuff are the other fairy types available. There's also going to be boosted rates for dragon types, so the likes of Gibble, and also Goomy. So you can get yourself a Goomy for the first time. And to allow Goomy to evolve, a brand new lure called the Rainy Lure, which attracts water, bug, and electric types, but also allows your Sliggoo to evolve when you're nearby.
That's really cool.
Because Sliggoo obviously evolves in the rain.
Yeah, I remember in X and Y, I had to go back to a certain route and like keep battling there until it evolved. It was such a cool gimmick, I think, you know.
So I think Sliggoo can also evolve if it's naturally rainy in the overworld.
Yeah.
Which is great. But obviously for those areas that don't, the lure is obviously the workaround that you'll need.
Right. You think you're saying Pokemon Go? I don't think that's the case at all.
Thought it was, but I was trying to work it out, not being a Pokemon Go player myself.
I'll let you know. I know the Sylph Road would probably do research about it, but that would be really cool if that's the case. I
think it can.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see.
Anyway, going alongside this event is a global challenge. If you can catch 500 million, and oh my gosh, that's a big number, 500 million fairy type Pokemon within a week of the event starting, up until the 11th of May, you will get Pacham in raids and a shiny Galarian Ponyta in the wild. Pacham.
Pancham?
Pancham. There's an N, isn't there?
Pacham. Sorry,
I imagine that's what he says. Yeah. When he punches you, he goes, Pacham.
Oh, yeah.
And you go flying off into the distance.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
In my head, that makes sense.
That's canon now.
So you can also find, if you do complete that event, the shiny variant of Galarian Ponyta will start to appear. And also during the event, shiny Dratini, shiny Routes being the fairy type, and also shiny Bagon. If you do catch a Dratini or a Bagon and want to evolve them, if you evolve Dragonair into a Dragonite, or use the charge TM on your Dragonite, it can learn the move Draco Meteor. And if you evolve a Shelgon into a Salamence, or use a charge TM on your existing Salamence, it can learn the move Outrage.
So this is significant because Community Day moves are usually locked behind something called an Elite Trainer TM. And they're a lot more expensive, a lot more hard to come by. And these Community Day moves are quite rare to get. So the fact that they're going to let you use a charge TM, a normal charge TM, to be able to change their movesets during this event is huge. It's amazing. And the other thing I want to point out is if you do evolve your Dragonair into a Dragonite, you probably don't want Draco Meteor. If you're planning to use it in raids, you want to keep Outrage. And Salamence as well. Outrage is the better move of the two. So yeah, make sure your Pokemon have got Outrage instead of Draco Meteor, because it's just better for raids.
There we go. Top tips from Kamel. Finally, to wrap up the event, there'll be some Psychic Dragon and Fairy type Pokemon in raids. So you can find, as we mentioned, Galarian Ponyta, Alolan Executor, Xerneas, and a brand new Mega Pokemon joining the game on the 15th of May, which may or may not go alongside with the event, but we assume it probably will. And then Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard X and Y, and Mega Lopunny appearing after that as well. So lots and lots going on in the Luminous Legends X event. And boy, did you guess it, straight after that, the Luminous Legends Y event, revolving around Yveltal, and what we have now got to be confirmed is the return of Team Rocket Go, who will be up to nefarious bad deeds, a boosted chance to catch Dark-type Pokemon, and hopefully a bunch more goodies as well for you to look forward to.
When does the X event start?
The X event starts on the 4th and runs till the 17th, and the Y event starts immediately after that on the 18th.
Yeah, we don't have too much detail about the Y event just yet, so we'll let you know when it.
But what we do know, as well as that new Mega Pokemon coming on the 15th of May, new field research to get yourself a Galarian Ponyta, new timed research this week, get it done quickly, for Giovanni and Shadow Moltres, and the most important news for those of you who are looking forward to it, The dates for GoFest 2021 have now been confirmed as the 17th and 18th of July. More details to follow as we celebrate the 5th anniversary of Pokemon Go. Can't believe it's been 5 years, by the way.
It's
and
crazy.
The 25th anniversary of Pokemon.
Cool.
All exciting stuff in Pokemon Go.
We shall go to our next segment. Okay. Here we
TCG. Go. TCG is 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
The only problem I have is that because I don't listen to the podcast while we record, because then I'd be hearing myself back. I don't know when the music ends.
I think we'll
figure it out.
Maybe count 6 seconds in your head. No, 4 seconds.
That sounds about right.
Count 4 seconds in your head.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, TCG Seasons 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new set confirmed to go after the latest announced set in Japan, which is EV Heroes. And a set really themed around EV and its evolutions, including V and hopefully V Maxes of all of the evolution line, which is really exciting. Some of these cards have been released. The 12 cards have been announced so far, including the V forms of all of the evolutions. We'll wait and see what else comes, but super exciting.
All I want is a Glaceon when the English set comes. Just give me the Glaceon, I'm happy. Everyone can go about the day.
I imagine if they do full arts of all of the V Maxes of all of the evolutions, a complete set of 8 of those will be very, very popular indeed.
Yeah, but not much to say other than that. The TCG front's been a bit quiet. Not much to say about the restocking of Shining Fates and stuff like that. It's still an utter mess. But hey, one day it'll be fixed. I mean, we still haven't gotten confirmation about the McDonald's cards come to the UK yet, have we? No, we have. We talked about this. Have we? I know, but did they confirm the cards were coming as well? Because we knew the Pokemon stuff was coming, but we didn't know if the cards were coming at that time.
So far, the McDonald's promotional material, or not the internal briefing stuff that they give to their workers, includes cards.
When's it starting?
Subject to change. It's the 15th of May, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making a quick check. I think it's the 15th. But it is imminent, which is super exciting. But the UK have already announced. They've already announced that there's going to be restrictions. It's the 19th of May it starts. But there will be restrictions on what the quantities that you can buy.
Okay, that's cool. Because we did talk about it, but we didn't say anything about the cards.
So you can only purchase one additional toy when you buy one or more Happy Meals. So you can buy a Happy Meal, which will come with the toy, and then you can buy one additional toy, and that's it.
Awesome. Should we move on?
We can move on.
Fix the TCG, Pokemon. Fix the TCG. Here we go. The Fujifilm stuff.
Yeah, Merch Ado About Nothing, and we have a very nostalgic collaboration between new Pokemon Snap, and Fujifilm, in the same way that when the original Pokemon Snap came out, and Fujifilm put out these very special vending machines where you could print off your Pokemon Snap photos in real life, they've come out with a little mini link. So this little device, Pikachu themed, obviously, will allow you to connect directly to your Switch, and you can print off little Polaroids of your pictures from Pokemon Snap, which is really, really cute. I'm not entirely sure how the aspect ratio works because most of the images coming out are portrait, and obviously your shots in Pokemon Snap are landscape, but I'm sure there's some clever stuff happening. It's really cool. It's a cool little collector's thing. It's a really cool throwback to the, 1999 collaboration between Fujifilm and Pokemon Snap.
I was going to say, this is the most 90s looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Polaroid cameras, if you haven't got one, they're a lot of fun. Sophie has one. There's something very nice about being able to see a photograph immediately after you take it.
Have a look on the screen, actually. I think you can take it in landscape as well.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yes, I can see it, actually. I can see a couple. So there you go. A cool way to take your Pokemon Snap game to the next level. Thank you to Fujifilm.
Can I make a late addition to Merch Ado About Nothing?
Of course you can.
Just quickly, this Cynthia and Garchomp figure by Kotobukiya is up for pre-order.
You sent me this, and I have to say it's probably one of the most excited I've been about a figure in a long time.
Yeah, it's decently priced. I think around £60 UK. Hobby search, if you just Google them, or I think it's 1999.co. They've got it up for pre-order, so make sure you pre-order whilst you can. These figures do get re-releases, but it's not often they do. So just make sure if you do really like it and you want it, then go over there and pre-order it as soon as possible. Is all I'll say. So yeah,
there you go. And one more to wrap up Much Ado About Nothing, which is Original Stitch, who have come out with yet another range for you to enjoy, and really interesting. They're in the Hoenn theme at the moment. They've just released phase 1 of their 3-part Hoenn phase, which is ground themed. So as well as Groudon, there are some classic ground type Pokemon like Flygon, and also some very land based Pokemon like Metagross, all available from Original Stitch. Lots of designs, including bandanas and scarves now, as well as all the shirts and all the.
This would look like a great Christmas jumper.
Yes, it would. That's a very good.
I'm not even taking the piss. It looks great. I think it.
I have to say, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate Original Stitch's commitment to deliver every single Pokemon. Some of the designs they've done, I'm not a fan of. This one, now that you said the Christmas thing, I'm like, that is perfect.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Do you think they'll give me some commission on this?
I think if I make a purchase, they have to, right? And just to go alongside, for those of you who are tracking, phase 1, ground-based with Groudon. Phase 2, ocean-based, featuring Kyogre and water types. And then finally, the sky phase with Rayquaza, Latias, and Latios.
I can't wait to see the Rayquaza stuff. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, get excited about that. Let's move on.
Just before we move on, can you imagine, like, Original Stitch are doing, like, all the generations with their, shirts and whatnot. Can you imagine when they release the shiny versions?
I have to say, one of the coolest things about Original Stitch's website, if you've never seen it, you literally go onto the Pokemon bit, and then it's literally like, click here, and it just opens the Pokedex. And you just scroll to find the Pokemon that you want.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
The interface is really cool. That's all.
And with that, move on. Is this segment
it's the podcast form? This is actually the podcast form news roundup, but now I like Quest to be the best. Pokemon Quest, the game we all played 3 years ago and stopped playing as soon as it came out, is being released in China.
Oh my god, that was funny. It's such a bizarre thing, huh?
I couldn't get enough of Pokemon Quest when it came out. It was super fun. I loved the art style. I know some people don't, and that's fair enough. Art is subjective. I really liked the art style. I thought the gameplay was really slick. And there was just no content. You kind of did the main story, beat the final boss, and then beyond basically waiting for 8 hours to try and hope that you get the remaining Pokemon for the Pokedex, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So the game kind of was super popular for a brief point of time and then faded away. Now it's getting a release in China with a whole load of new features that we didn't know we need, like PvP.
It's bizarre. Hey.
It's an odd one, mainly because of the declining popularity of Pokemon Quest so quickly after launch in the West. But perhaps things like PvP, there are new decorations for your island and stuff. Maybe that'll be enough to keep the audience in for a bit longer. And don't get me wrong, I had a great time playing it, but once you've kind of done the main campaign, that's all there is to it. PvP will add some things. There are other tweaks and gimmicks as well, but
bosses as well, they said, didn't they?
Yeah, it's super strange. But here we are, the Chinese release of Pokemon Quest.
And it's interesting to know that Nintendo are not publishing it. It's being published by another company called NetEase as well. So I don't know what the thinking is behind that, but hey, they've probably got a lot of faith that it's going to be a big hit in China.
I know
in general is a big thing in China anyway. So
yes.
Yeah, maybe it's just so weird how it's taken that long for them to get the game number 1, but 2, they're getting like a souped up version of the game.
I know that some countries have got very tight restrictions around what constitutes gambling.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe the recruitment method for Pokemon had fallen into that category. But I didn't think China was one of those countries.
But then you wouldn't be getting something like what's it called? It's coming out soon. Oh Christ, it's gone off. Like Pokemon Unite, for example, that wouldn't be there, would it?
Well, the thing with Pokemon Unite though is that the core gameplay is not. The core gameplay is completely set. There is no gacha element. It's all cosmetic.
Yeah, sure, but that'd be the same with Pokemon, right? You're not paying for anything for a Pokemon, are you? You're just paying for.
Well, no, that's the thing with Pokemon Quest.
And stuff.
With Pokemon Quest, in order to get some Pokemon, you have to have like very high level incubators, and then there is a probability roll on those incubators. And I think, I could be wrong, certain premium food that you can put in those cooking pots increase the chance of getting the ones you want, kind of thing. Listen, it's a game I played 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I can't remember. It was fun while it lasted. I remember very little of it, but I hope you guys in China enjoy it.
Yeah, no, take your point on that.
That's where we are. Right, the next bit of roundup news is actually probably my favourite piece of news this week. The Pokemon Company are launching a roadshow museum for fossils. And central to the museum is going to be basically exploring how Pokemon fossils compare with real-life fossils and the paleontology studies associated with them. So you can go and visit basically the traveling museum. There's an excavation Pikachu. So Pikachu in this cute little costume who'll be there to assist. Lots and lots of different replicas of fossils of Pokemon, as well as some of the real-life fossils. It's really to try and encourage kids to, be more interested in paleontology and dinosaurs in general. It's a super cool idea. If I was a kid, I would absolutely love it.
Dude, I was going to say, this was one of the things that probably would have got me into science a bit more.
Yeah. So the exhibit will open on July 3rd in Mikasa City Museum. It'll be there until September. It will then move to Shinmain Prefectural Nature Museum, and then we'll continue doing the roads in 2022 and 2023. Including Tokyo on that list as well. Super exciting. I wish that I would get to go to this because it sounds super cool. I actually really just like the promotional artwork they've done for it as well.
I'm still confused about one thing.
Go ahead.
How did they get Aoi to turn into green? I'm still confused about that. I've been thinking about this whole episode, trying to rack my brain about it.
Well, the claim on the Bulbapedia entry is that that single word can be translated as blue or green. And in Generation 1, the colouring of Oddish was green. The whole thing was green because there were limited colour palette. So I can understand maybe someone
now with that added context with the green palette thing, I can probably understand why they said the green Pokemon.
Listen, Bill may be a genius. His grandfather, we'll put it to one side.
Yeah.
Go fossil hunting with Pokemon. Our final piece of news for the podcast form roundup, podcast art favorite, which is Pokemon Cafe Mix, has announced a huge overhaul coming to the game at the end of basically autumn this year. Very, very few details about what that large overhaul will be. All of the premium currencies and regular currencies will carry forward, so your acorns and things are all safe. But who knows what this overhaul may bring. It could be as significant as the introduction of things like the stamina system in Pokemon Masters. It could just be changes to how the level designs all work. But it's really interesting and great to see that this game is getting yet more leases of life, because I know a lot of people are enjoying it.
Yeah, it could potentially get me back in, depending on what these large sort of overhauls are.
I said this when the game came out. I love the art style. And if I could, this is probably proof actually that Pokemon can't make me do things I don't want to do, because I feel like Pokemon just wasn't enough to keep me engaged with this. My problem with Cafe Mix is that, as far as I understand it, everything is random. So the items that drop from the ceiling after you clear the original board are all randomized. So you're basically just relying on good rolls to get through levels.
Which is fair enough. I mean, you don't want the puzzle to be the same every time, otherwise there's no
but when it gets to the point of it being based on luck, for me that's where it stops being a puzzle and starts being basically what Candy Crush is, which is just hoping that you get 5 red things to drop down at the same time, and that's how you clear the level straight away.
No, that's why you just keep replaying it.
That's where it transitions from like luck or lottery to puzzle. That's the divide in my head, and I'm very black and white about these things. I know I shouldn't be.
Hey, if Pokemon's taught us anything, it's not always black and white.
Yeah, but my heart knew what was right, and it was to uninstall. I love you, Pokemon Cafe Mix. I love you. I'm sorry.
Pokemon Shuffle did a really cool thing in some of their stages, where some of the stages were basically brain teasers, where you are looking at a straight up sort of puzzle where you have to put the Pokemon in certain places in order to clear the level, and then there are other levels which were like still. Well, not really puzzles. Actually, they're more like you're saying, like Candy Crush. Actually, no, I'm starting to come around now. Jesus,
you're seeing it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
This is the really interesting thing. Pokemon Shuffle is obviously very largely based on things like Candy Crush. The original Pokemon puzzle game was called Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. It remains one of my favorite games on the Game Boy series. It's a really good spin-off. Which is it's like Candy Crush, but it's all predetermined, so you're not really relying on randomness.
Yeah.
And in very much the same way that like Tetris 99 has you competing against other players, that's what Pokemon Puzzle Challenge was. It was you competing in real time against a gym leader or a wild Pokemon or whatever it was. And they would drop blocks on you and they drop all sorts of mess on you. It's a really good game. And I, when you said that Pokemon Cafe Mix had the puzzle element, it reminded me a lot of Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. Should we move on?
But will Caf Mix make Amit happy? Who knows? What will make Amit happy is knowing the answer to this next question in a minute. Where the Helioptile is Pokemon Sleep.
New Pokemon Snap came out to us this week, and it's a bittersweet moment because I'm really excited for new Pokemon Snap. I'm also heartbroken that the next Pokemon game I'm playing isn't Pokemon Sleep. And then I started playing new Pokemon Snap, and the very first mission in the game is to take a picture of Torterra yawning. Now, why are they so interested in Torterra falling asleep? Is this proof that the Illumina phenomenon is the technology behind Pokemon Sleep?
Oh my god.
You're going to have to play the game to find out. Retails at $49.99. I want royalties.
Yeah, just to make it clear, we don't get any money.
No.
But if we did, we'd invest in Pokemon Sleep. But yeah, thanks for the update. Hopefully we can find out, and maybe next week we'll find out whether or not, it is.
Yeah, the
Pokemon
Illumina
Sleep
phenomenon is the technology.
What's this segment called?
It's the unknown fact of the week with me.
With him.
It's the unknown fact of the week. Boy, do I have a good one for you this week. So in 1999, Hasbro decided to team up with the Pokemon Company, and what did they release? The Pokemon Battling Coin Game. And if you can see the images on screen, these discs, these round discs, basically you flip them heads or tails in a 2-person battle, and then there's a special spinner that you spin them round in, and they land on different segments where the attack damage is calculated. This is actually the origin for Pokemon Duel, which runs the exactly same mechanic where you have a disc, you spin it around a spinner, and it determines the damage or the effect of the move.
I have never seen this in my life.
Yeah, so it was a collaboration between Hasbro and the Pokemon Company in the late 1990s. Lots of people apparently still have these. You can find them on eBay, but they really are the sort of precursor to Pokemon Duel as we came to know it before it was discontinued.
It looks so similar.
Yeah, it's the concept is literally the same. You flip the coin, and then there's a round spinner that you put it in, and you spin it round and round, and as it comes out the spinner, it basically lands on whatever the damage roll is, and you push the 2 coins together like you do in Duel, and whichever one has the bigger number wins.
Wow, just my mind is blown because it basically is the precursor to Pokemon Duel.
Yep, that's what this is.
And I just love the packaging. Like, again, it just looks so 90s.
I just couldn't believe. So I was actually, I'll tell you how I got here. I was researching weird Pokemon merchandise, having just talked about Much to Do About Nothing, just trying to find something interesting or obscure to talk about. And I came across this, and I was like, this is Pokemon Duel, but it's the 1990s. And it's just crazy to me that, like, and obviously this game didn't take off as well as it could have done, but it was absolutely the precursor to Pokemon Duel. Unknown fact of the week.
That's probably one of your best unknown facts of the week, I will say. But with that has been the PokeRamble Podcast. He's been your host, Amit. I've been the backseater, Kumail. And you can find us on the PokeRamble.com or here on twitch.tv/KumailH every Sunday around 7:30. So yeah, check us out. Follow us on Twitch, YouTube, all the good places, Spotify, you know it. But until next time, I've been Kumail.
I've been Amit.
And we're still trying to find Pokemon Sleep. Till next time.